Hi everyone, and welcome to the next video all about properties of number. This is the Getting Secure version. So we're going to have a look at factors, primes, squares and multiples. So we're going to start off having a look at factors and multiples. A number like 12 has got different factors. In this case, 3 and 4 we can see are factors of 12 because 3 times 4 makes 12. Now of course 12's got other factors like 1 and 2 and 12 itself and 6. They're all factors because they're all numbers that when multiplied together they make 12. Now 12 is a multiple of 4 because if I multiply 4 it will give me 12. 12 is in the 4 times tables. So similarly, say I was thinking about the number 14, a multiple of 14 is 28 and another one would be 140 because if you multiply 14 they're the multiples of 14. So have a go at these two questions here. See if you can think of 3 factors of 15 and then 3 multiples of 15. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so factors of 15, well you could have had 1 and 15, because 1 times 15 is 15. You could have had 3 and also 5 factors of 15. Multiples of 15, well of course there's an infinite number. You could have had 30 would be the first one, 45, 60, or equally you might have times it by 10 to get to 150, or equally you might have gone for a bigger one like 300 or 1500. All, if you multiply 15, they could all be the result. Now see if you can apply that understanding to answer these two questions. Okay, so for the top example, I'm going to find different ways of multiplying numbers to make 24. So for example, 6 fours are 24. I've got 8 threes are 24. I've got 12 times 2 is 24, and of course I've got 1 times 24 is 24. And then of those factors, the ones that are greater than 5 are 8, 6, 12 and 24. Okay, for the second example, which multiple of 7 is closest to 40? Well, if I multiply 7, I can get to 35, 7 fives, and then that's the one that's less than 40, and then if I have another 7, that would be 42. And then, so which of those multiples of 7 is closest to 40? Well, of course it's 42, which is just 2 away. Now square numbers are of course the number that you get when you multiply whole numbers together. You can see obviously they make an arrangement of a square if they're put in an array as well. So for example here we've got 3 times 3 which makes 9. So if we have a look at that example, 3 times 3 equals 9. 9 is the square number, 3 isn't the square number. That's just a number that we multiply to get the square number of 9. People often misunderstand even numbers with square numbers. Now, for example, there's no one number that you can multiply together by itself to make 12. You can see there, that's 3 and 4 that multiply together to make 12. So 12 isn't a square number. Have a look at the numbers below and see if you can figure out which ones from the list are square numbers and why. Okay, so of course 24 isn't a square number because 5 fives are 25 and not 24, so that isn't, whereas 6 sixes are 36, so of course that one is. Now 7 times 7 is 49, 8 eights is 64, so 50 can't be. And speaking of 7 sevens being 49, that of course will mean that 70 times 7 is 490, but that means 490 isn't a square number because 70 and 7 are not the same number, whereas 70 times 70 makes 4,900, so that of course is a square number. Now, prime numbers are numbers that only ever have two factors, and the factors are always 1 and themselves. So, for example, 19 is an example of a prime number, because the only way you can make 19 by multiplying is by doing 1 times by 19. 19 doesn't go into 2, doesn't go into 3, 4, 5, so it's a prime number. Now, flies, bizarrely, the cicada fly know their prime numbers. They know that the best years to go into certain areas in North America are every 13 years and every 17 years, because there's certain predators that hunt every 2 years, every 3 years, and every 5 years, represented by the dots. Now, on the 13th year and the 17th year, they'll be safe from those predators, and they've developed in that way. Now, what I want you to do is have a look at those three numbers here and see if you can figure out which ones of them, if any, are prime numbers. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, let's have a look. Well, 39 is a good one because it often catches people out because they think, well, I don't recognise 39 in any of my times tables. But actually, 13 times 3 is 39. So 39 is not a prime number. It's in the 3 times table. And, of course, the 13 times table. 27, of course, isn't a prime number either because 3 times 9 is 27. And 41 is, essentially, because it doesn't go, 7 doesn't go into 41, 3 doesn't, 5 doesn't, and it's a odd number as well. To finish off with, I want you to see if you can list all the digits that are factors of 92. So pause the video, have a go, and then we'll have a look. Okay, well, I know straight away that 1 is a factor of 92 because 1 goes into every whole number, and so is 2 because 92 is even. I know that 3 isn't because I know that 90 is in the 3 times table, so is 93, and of course 92 isn't. And I also, in a similar way, know that 9 isn't because 9 times 10 is 90, so the next number up would be 99. I could also figure out straight away that 5 isn't because every multiple of 5 ends in either a 5 or a 0. Now, if I'm counting up in sixes, I would probably think, well, 10 sixes are 60, and then I could go up another 5 sixes, which are 30, so that will tell me that 15 sixes must be 90, and so 16 sixes, another 6, must be 96. So equally, I know that 6 is not a factor of 92 either. And similarly with 7, if I think 10 times 7 is 70, and then to get to 92, that's another 22, and of course 7 does not go into 22, because 7 threes are 21. So 7 will definitely be off my list as well. In the same way, I could think, well, 8 times by 10 is 80, and then I could count up 88 would be the next number of the sequence, and of course 92 wouldn't be, so I can count 8 off as well. But then if we have a look at 4, well, I know that 4 times 10 is 40, so 4 times 20 will be 80, and then the difference between 80 and 92 is 12, which is actually 4 times 3, and so actually 4 will be another one that is a factor of 92. For any questions, answers, ideas or anything else, you load them on that Padlet page, and we're going to have a prize draw for one person who's posted something relevant on the page. You'll win a prize at the end of the week. Well done everyone, get on that Padlet page and we'll see you next week.